The first Japanese tank destroyer just dropped onto PC, and it's obviously a tier 8 premium, and it's called KARI. As of now, this tank is only available through the emerald boxes that are being sold in the premium shop. Is this tank worth your money and effort? Well, I'm a bit biased here, because I have personally been impatiently waiting for these Japanese tank destroyers for over 3 years now. But I actually really liked playing with this tank. A quick side note before we dive in. Unfortunately, Edwin and my schedule has been jam-packed this week, so we didn't find any moment to sit down and play together for this video before the embargo. So you will have to deal with just replay footage from us individually. Anyhow, this tank is pretty huge, but do not let the size fool you. It's a weak tank when it comes to armor and durability. When playtesting this vehicle, pretty much every vehicle tier 8 and above could penetrate this tank with standard rounds. So while the appearance of this tank might suggest it's an assault tank destroyer, it's definitely more of a sniper or support vehicle. This is a bit distasteful, because in Wargaming's video covering this event, they said this.
And of course, deflect shells with its armor and shoot smoothly.
Deflect shells with its armor.
Sure, it has some armor against tier 7s and 6s, but you will mainly play against tier 8s and upwards, where the armor is basically non-existent. Saying that this tank has armor in your official presentation is just a pure lie. Unprofessional. Even though the tank is huge, the mobility of the tank is pretty good. It reaches its top speed of 40 kph pretty quickly, and the traverse speed is excellent. The main selling point of this tank, however, is the gun itself, which is one of the better guns I have ever seen at tier 8. The DPM is good, and so is the gun handling. When fully aimed, pretty much every shot went where I aimed, and that's with 500 alpha damage. The gun is a very pay to win, however. Both the standard shells and premium shells are AP, so there are very few reasons to fire the standard rounds over the premium rounds if you want to be competitive. However, 252 standard pen at tier 8 is really good, so if you want a reliable credit maker, this tank could be the one for you. But it has to be mentioned that the 298 premium penetration is undeniably amazing. It can burn through pretty much every tank this tank can face with ease. Even the high explosive rounds are really good. 630 alpha with 90mm of pen is hella sweet. And for some reason I faced a shit ton of paper tanks when I was playing with this vehicle, so I got to experience that high alpha a dozen of times, which was very satisfying. You know what? Let me give you a quick HE pen compilation real quick. Rip that last shell, lol. While the mobility and the gun is really good, it has very little carry potential. It is purely a support vehicle. It cannot deal with any sort of engagement on its own. So if your team is incapable, you will also be. The camouflage is also subpar, so you will rarely get to take advantage of the tank's DPM, as you will usually have to retreat into cover after every shell you fire. And while the mobility is good, 40 kph can feel sluggish in some scenarios, so a turbo is not out of the equation here. Personally, I went for a rammer, improved aiming, and vents, while Edwin went with a rammer, improved aiming, and turbo. Exhaust and camo net might be a good idea, but nothing we tried ourselves. Camo on your crew is, however, mandatory. 2 different equipment setups with field mods could be a good idea. If you actually end up against tier 7s and 6 tanks, your armor will actually start working. In these matchups, hardening could be a good idea for a more aggressive playstyle with a second field mod setup. All in all, this is a pretty nice tank, and I'm personally super hyped for the Tech Tree release. Will you miss out if you don't buy this tank though? Not really. I would personally just wait on standby until the Tech Tree tanks release. If you do want an experience similar to the KARI, without having to pay anything at all, just buy the Jag Panther 2. It's an epic tank as well. Wargaming will undoubtedly sell this tank again sometime in the future outside of these loot boxes. So don't fall victim to Wargaming's cheeky business practices. Be mindful with your purchase. But let us know what you think of this tank in the comments below. Thank you for watching, have a lovely day, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye!